How come I? Good morning. Are you there? Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly fine.
Good. Making sure you can hear me, you can see me, and I am like my router is so close to me is ridiculous. So I should not have any issues with my internet. I did apologize last week for my internet connection. Apparently, my downstairs area is not the most tuned in to my router. It should be, but it isn't. So now I'm upstairs right next to my router. So now if you did hear me last week talking and then I went away, you probably got a break. It was probably nice and refreshing for you not to have to listen to me. So now, unfortunately for you, you're gonna have to listen to me probably a whole hour.
All right.
So I'm warning everybody that's watching that unfortunately they're gonna have to put up with it. Kenny, how's your week? We are at the beginning of March.
Oh,
Anything
it was
exciting
long.
going on?
It was long. It was long.
It was a
This week,
long week. Wow.
this,
What
this
happened?
week, this week was like 2 weeks between delays and ice storms and
Yeah.
and long
Yeah.
days and short days
We
and
had weather issues. I'm
it's
waiting for
just
Facebook to pop up here, so I did stream to Facebook. But it may not be working today, so that's fine. I'll get over it. But yeah, it has been. We've had a couple of nasty, like, kind of travel days,
yeah.
weather-wise, because we're all up in New England here. So we had, was it Tuesday night, I think, or Wednesday? I don't know, but we had we had a night where it was just nothing but ice storm. Like it was like ice coming down all day.
Yeah, that's Tuesday.
And then that night, we had some interesting car accidents going on around
Oh,
here. I don't know about where
oh,
you are, but
oh.
just people had no traction, and so we had one guy. I don't know the story or whatever, but I heard he was taking hostages. I don't know what the deal is. I live in a small town over here, and we there's a rumor mill that gets going, but a car went like into a house, like right, just did a leap and went straight into a house over here. That was one of the things that happened, and then another one was like somebody was going to CVS or something at Dunkin' Donuts and found a Jeep just like upside down,
Oh,
like in the
jeez.
parking lot, and they were like, "What is happening here?" And those Facebook groups where everybody's kind of like talking about what's going on in the neighborhood, and so most of them were just like, "Oh, that's just Jeep stuff. That's just Jeep stuff." I'm like, "Oh, okay." I didn't realize that most of the Jeeps sometimes are upside down. I did not know that. I had one when I was a kid, and I did not. Yeah. Uh, so if you're driving along and you see a Jeep upside down, I guess that's just Jeeps Jeeping.
I guess.
you know,
I
I
guess
don't know.
so.
I thought that was kind of funny. I'm sure that they did call somebody and figure it out, but I was just kind of like, what is going on? This craziness. But yes, I guess Facebook hates us. We're not streaming there today.
Uh-oh. Oh,
Um, so we are at the like tail end of book week.
yes. Yes.
You're excited about this?
I'm
Are you
so
happy? Really?
yeah.
Kenny, you don't like books?
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
It was interesting. I was watching the shows this week and some of our other hosts, and they had some really good information. I thought that was pretty cool. I'm a nerd and I'm a book reader myself, so I found it to be an entertaining week. So what can
Okay.
I say? But we're
All right.
wrapping it up. Uh, oh, Women's History Week is next week. Okay.
Ooh,
Thank you,
okay.
Ron.
Okay. Thank you, Ron. I can do that.
That brings some stuff to mind. But so yeah, it is March 7th, 2026, and here's what we want you to know today, Kenny. You have 8 new words for us.
Oh, yes. Yes, I do. The Webster's Dictionary came out with 15 words for 2026,
Hmm.
and they are pretty interesting. So I have 8 of them.
Okay.
Okay. They put touch grass, referring to returns for the real world ways of screens. Touch
Wow.
grass. I don't know.
They actually added that in, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Performative, acting for public approval rather than sincerity. Sincerity.
I thought that was in the dictionary.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
The young kids say Riz. He
Oh
got a lot of
no.
he got a lot of Riz. Charisma or ability to seduce.
Huh. For old
Hmm.
folks like me, this is good. It's like the now it was we sometimes we have to go to the Urban Dictionary to see what the heck somebody's talking about.
Yeah,
But that
exactly.
finalizes it. That makes it official. Okay.
Exactly.
I didn't
Exactly.
think that was fast. That word went in fast. I think that word's not been around long, but
Yeah, that
huh.
was real quick. Real quick. Dad bod, an
Uh,
average, slightly overweight male physique. Hmm.
Slightly
Hmm.
is the key word there.
Slightly,
For
yes,
people
yes,
who
yes.
keep using it, for people who have only gained 200 pounds, it's not accurate. It is slightly. I'm
Slightly.
off of my gym routine for like a summer is dad bod, and I'll be back in the gym in the fall. That's dad bod.
Dad, dad,
Not
dad,
I've not been to the gym in 10 years.
dad,
Just
yeah,
saying.
right. Just saying.
Yes.
Doom, doom scroll.
Yep.
Continuously consuming negative news online.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if you are at any streaming platform
Mm-hmm.
for like 5 minutes, that's what you're going to do. There's not much else that you're going to see.
Exactly.
Hmm.
This is my favorite: cold brew and farm to table.
Okay.
Culinary lifestyle. Culinary lifestyle.
Is it
Mhm.
both of them at the same time, or they're just two separate words? You're
Two separate.
using two separate phrases.
Two separate
Okay.
phrases. Yep, it's two separate phrases, but the same
Idea.
definition. Yeah, that's what it says. Okay.
Food and
Shadow
drink.
ban.
Oh,
Yes.
yep. Yep.
Shadow ban. Social media content restriction. Hmm.
Huh. Yep.
And I don't understand this one. Conclave. A private meeting.
I do.
Hmm.
I mean,
A
it's
private
yeah, yeah.
a private meeting. Hmm.
It
Okay.
is like enclave, but with gathering. Enclave is a
I get
little
it now.
area that you carve out for yourself that's very private. Conclave is a little area that you carve yourself out that's private and bring people and
Hmm.
discuss world domination and things like that.
Hmm.
Or you
And
discuss
last but not
Kenny's hat.
hmm.
And you say,
and
hey, look at
lastly,
Kenny's hat. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
that's okay. And last but not least, slope, defined as low quality AI generated digital content.
Is there an E on that?
Nope. SLOP.
Oh, slop. Yeah. Slop. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Slop.
Uh, No, that's okay. Yeah, AI slop. It's gross. I can't stand it. I watch some YouTube stuff. I have little channels for my dog to watch. There's like dog TV channels on YouTube, which you could throw some stuff up for them to kind of keep an eye on or whatever while they're hanging out in the living room. And so much of that
Hmm.
stuff is like just AI generated cartoony crap that's disgusting. And I don't know. It feels invasive. It's kind of coming up at everywhere you look, and it's just yes, slope is a hill, like a
Yes.
ski. But yes,
Hmm.
without the e, it's slop. So wow. So, is there anything in that you like, don't like, have any thoughts or opinions on, or no?
Oh, there's one word I love. There's
Mm-hmm.
one word I love. Mhm. we're gonna get to that in another segment
Oh,
because
okay.
I'm
So,
gonna
out of all the words that have gone into Webster's, is it just Webster's or is it all of them?
uh
You had
Webster's.
no comment on any of that.
Well,
Yes.
there's 15 of them, but 8 are just
So yes, slop is that's basically it. That's what they're trying to get at. Just stuff that you would feed pigs, but in digital form. It's disgusting. I don't know.
okay.
I can't explain it. I get the ick from a lot of it. I have friends that I love dearly. Don't get me wrong. That will send me AI videos, and like I just want to go stop sending me this stuff. Like I don't find it funny. I don't have any interest in it. But I don't because whatever they do, they do. You know, they could do their thing, and that's fine. I just don't want to see any of it. But people are using it for pictures too. If you notice on social media, a lot of people are starting to use like AI pictures of themselves, which I don't. I'm a realistic person, so I like to see the nitty gritty. Always did.
The nitty gritty. Fat corn AI generated. Okay, right. Okay.
What's that? What are you looking
I
at?
have no idea. That's what the chat said. Fat corn AI generated.
Oh, okay. Wait, I
Fat
didn't
corn.
pull my chat. I have there is a chat here, but I haven't pulled it
Yep.
up.
Fat corn AI
Oh, yeah.
generated.
Yeah, he's saying porn, but
Oh.
yeah,
Okay.
it auto corrected, but we
Okay.
actually you do use the word corn on certain social media platforms so that we don't get tossed off of the platform for saying some wrong word. So corn it works too. I think most people know what that is.
Great band
So
also. Great band.
right now, if you are watching us, right? We got all of our platforms up. You're watching us on Kick Live, Kick, YouTube, Rumble, at Rhode Island Broadcasting. You're watching us on Twitch at RI_broadcasting, or you're watching us at X at broadcasting RI. You could listen to us if you did not want to see us, which of course I'm always highly offended by, but that's all right. That's not true. We are at Spotify. We're in Red Circle. We're in TuneIn. We're in iHeartRadio, and we're at Amazon Music. That's all at RI Broadcasting. And then we have tons of social media that you can follow. We're on MeWe. We're on TikTok. We're on LinkedIn. We're on Blue Sky. We're on Gab. We're on Parler. We're on Space. Oh,
hey.
Sorry. There we go. And that is Patreon at the end there, at Rhode Island Broadcasting, RI Broadcasting. I'm sorry. And Patreon is where all our merch is. But anyway, on Facebook, at Going On Daily Morning Show. So if you go to Facebook and you Google, well, you can't Google on Facebook, right? See how we use that term? See how that term turned into like a thing that it's not really. If you look up, if you search on Facebook for Going On Daily Morning Show, please like and share and make sure everybody we want to make sure everybody get our numbers up on there. And that's that. And then if you didn't hear anything I said, then you can go to our website at RhodeIslandBroadcasting.net. And that pretty much has everything I just said in case you missed anything, right?
Right.
And so last week was February. I was going to say last month, but last week does apply. We had a winner in our 90s drama series, I believe it was, right? So, and it looks like, I think it was 77% X-Files. So that won. We were looking at it all month going, does anybody want to challenge this? Does anybody want to challenge this? Nobody challenged it. It won. And, rightfully so. It was a good show. So right now, the new Hall of Fame that you can vote for would be 60s actors, right? So we got John Wayne, Paul Newman, Steve McQueen, Jack Lemmon, and Sean Connery. And being a woman that did not see many 60s videos, I have absolutely no idea which one I'd vote for because I don't know a lot about most of them unless they rolled into the 70s and 80s, in which case I'd know them a little better, which, of course, John Wayne couldn't do. Rest in peace. However, so go there. That little QR code between me and Kenny here. Click on that. That'll take you straight to the page, and then you can just vote for your favorite 60s male actor. dominated male actor of 60s.
Uh-oh.
So those are iconic guys too. Looks like Kenny's voting right now.
Uh-oh.
I think Kenny's voting right now.
I'm trying to vote right now. It's not working yet, but okay. All right.
Okay. Is it not working?
Right.
Ron.
It's not
What's up
working
with that,
yet.
man?
Okay.
Is it internet? Is it all not put together yet?
It's not
And then
yet.
and then the last thing I wanted to bring up would have been that you have a place on that website, RhodeIslandBroadcasting.net, to donate to Uganda, right? So
Yes.
Becky spent 2.5 weeks in Uganda. She's
Yeah.
in the past week of our shows. Go back and watch them. She put up some really interesting pictures, some really cool stuff, and then told some stories about some things that they are in need of there. And so, without getting too crazy into the description of it, it should be there's a little bit of it on the site, but there's also Becky's actual descriptions of it, which I find to be more interesting. So go back and watch what Becky has said about her trip, the animals that she's seen and all that, but then also the kids that she worked with and some of the stuff that she saw that was a little bit heartbreaking. And hey, you got $5 that you would normally spend on coffee. You go right there, RhodeIslandBroadcasting.net/Uganda-donations. And, skip your coffee for a day. Plus your $5-6, whatever it is. I did that. I gave some coffee money. I said, I'm going to have coffee from my end. I'm not going to go to the coffee shop. I'm going to have coffee off of my counter this week and give Becky some. So it's a little bit. Every little bit helps. Like whatever you have, $1, $5, whatever you have. If you could spare it, it would be nice. It'd be good for the kids. So, and I don't know if that episode that you're showing me is something that everybody could see, but if you can, if you get a chance, I think it'll be in the comments. But that'll be the Becky's description of and all of that information. That's her episode of what happened on her trip.
Yeah.
Excuse me. God, aren't you sick of listening to me? All that talking I just did, and now I have to do more talking because I have to talk about my topic. Since we're at the end of book week, we're going to talk about one of my favorite things, which is, we'll go back to the, hold on, let me, I'm doing this thing today where I want to see the chat here. So I have my little list on my phone. So I'm not, everything's not condensed up so far. How has my internet been, Kenny?
Great. Outstanding.
Awesome. Oh. So some of these are things I've seen, and some of them are things I have a list of things I want to read. But I love memoirs. I don't know why. One of my favorite things to do right now is like go hiking or clean the house or whatever it is, and then get the audiobook of a memoir and then listen to the actor, because most of them are going to be read by the actors. Just listen to them tell me the story. It's actually kind of cool to do it that way. Plus, you get your reading in as you're doing another thing, so you're efficient, right? But right there underneath me is Applegate, and that's one of the ones I am dying to read. I actually already have it set aside, and I haven't started it yet. But I've heard some of the story. I've been a Christina Applegate fan since probably before Married with Children. She did some stuff before that, but not much, but for years. Because she was
tell Mom the Sitter's dead.
Yes. And so, although I don't know, that was before, wasn't it? And I have to go back and look at my timeline in my head because I can't remember which came first. But I think before. that came before. But yeah, she has a podcast with Jamie Lynn Sigler, and I don't know if you know who Jamie Lynn Sigler is, but Jamie Lynn Sigler played. She was in The Sopranos, and she played Meadow. And so, the two of them have MS. And the both of them have a podcast together where they discuss symptoms of MS, living with MS, living with their families, just the stuff that they go through. So, and if you listen to that podcast, you can hear a lot of their when did they know they had MS? How long did it take them to tell people in Hollywood they had MS? Because they didn't want to lose their jobs, they didn't want to stop working, and all that kind of stuff. How they're dealing with their families and all of that. So some of Christine Applegate's stuff from her childhood I've heard because she's kind of dropped here and there just some information about her childhood as she was growing up, and she has one hell of a lifetime story to tell. So I can't wait to read that. I know that there's one story about her dumping Brad Pitt for Sebastian Bach, which I think is hilarious. But yeah, Christina Applegate is she's one of those people that, like, if I could sit and just talk to her for an hour, she is amazing. She drops a lot of F-bombs. She swear. I just love her. She's just real. She doesn't care if anybody likes her or doesn't like her. She's an empathetic person and all that kind of stuff. So, there's a lot of stars that I watched growing up that came from pretty nasty backgrounds. And one of the other ones is Brooke Shields. I was talking to somebody about that this week. And the stuff that, she went through. I mean, Brooke Shields' mother just pretty much pimped her out. I mean, the stuff that Brooke Shields' her parent did to her manager did to her as a kid. I mean, her playing a prostitute at 12 and just all that kind of stuff was crazy. And then there was a whole thing. Demi Moore had a documentary, and she had an interview recently where her mother kind of, I think, handed over $500 to some guy and just said, "Here's the keys to my apartment," when she's about 14 or 15 or 13, somewhere in there, and just gave some dude access to her kid. So I think that what happened was these mothers that traveled to California, like in the 60s and 70s, saying, "Okay, I want a better life. I have a child. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to be a waitress. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that." Maybe they were looking to be stars, and their kids got caught up in like the nonsense of what they were doing. And a lot of the actors or the actresses or actors, however you want to say it these days, those girls that grew up in that environment decided, well, I'm going to be an actor because it can't be any worse than this crap. And that's Drew Barrymore, and that's, all of those kids. Demi Moore was just getting dragged to bars when she was 6 or 7 or 8. That's how it was, I guess. But anyway, there's a lot of celebrity. I just read Matthew Perry's right before he died. I read that, so that was really horrible. Because it was horrible, but it was also, what's the word I'm looking for? There was closure to it because he was like, "Listen, I'm on borrowed time. I know I'm not going to live. I can't believe I'm living at this point with all the surgeries he had been through and everything else." And what killed him was obviously a neglectful dealer of ketamine, that kind of stuff. But that he had a colostomy surgery that was so awful that, like, he couldn't believe he lived through it. So it's awful that he died. It's sad that he died. I feel bad because he was at a place where he was trying to help others at that point. He really was kind of clean and trying to, but some of these stars come from, like, they don't have a chance. Like, if you look at Robert Downey Jr., his dad, he basically was raised on drugs and alcohol. He had no choice from a very young age. So he's not only cleaning up his own life, he's cleaning up his history and his heritage, because he's cleaning up his dad's mess, and he's cleaning up his own mess. So some of these people, you can understand how they're having a hard time with it. You just can understand it. Anyway, Less Than Zero was his best movie, but that's because he wasn't, and he said that a million times, "I was not acting in this movie. This is who I was at this point." He's one of the guys that has made an amazing comeback. But if you look at it, he started before the start line because of the stuff. Like, these kids were growing up in houses where drugs were everywhere. Parents were just drinking and doing drugs, and their kids became their friends. And so they were like handing their kids the stuff. "Oh, here, you drink with me, do drugs with me." And some of these kids were at 7, 8, 9 years old. So you have to also understand how children are developing, that until you're 25, you're not an actual, like, solidified person. You're still growing. So not only are you in a bad environment that's just to you normal, but you're also not developing correctly. Like, your brain is not being built correctly with all that, right? So Anyway, that's all not even my point. But I do love memoirs of some of my favorite people, and I'm gonna list some of the memoirs I've already read. I've read Cher. She's got 2 of them, and she's got a part 1 out now, and I think the part 2 is supposed to be out this summer or something like that. That was amazing because Cher was placed in a foster home, or she was placed in a Catholic church foster home. Her mother just had to like put her there and come back and get her for a while. She just was that was crazy when I found that out. Uh,
Mhm.
one of my favorite families in Hollywood is Carrie and Todd Fisher and Debbie Reynolds. I absolutely love that whole family. So I've read all of their memoirs. Carrie Fisher's somebody that I wish I knew because she was just one of the coolest people ever, and so it was real sad to see her go. I've read Steve Martin. I've read Danny Goldberg, who was the Nirvana Kurt Cobain manager.
Yep.
That's a really cool book.
Mm.
I've read. I'm fascinated with Scientology, so I have read just about everything that has been put out about that, and that includes David Miscavige's dad, Ron, Leah Remini, and Mike Rinder, who recently passed away. All about like what goes on in there in Scientology. Jennifer Grey. I've read hers. I've read Pamela Anderson's. I have not read Jenny Gart's, but that's something on my list. Brandy's on my list. Liza Minnelli, I haven't ever read, but I don't know if that's on my list or not, but it could be. Robin Crawford, who is Whitney's best friend and manager, Whitney Houston. That was a really interesting book. And then there's 2 books that I want to read. One of them was Christina Applegate, who we talked about, and the other one is Virginia Giuffre, of course, with this whole Epstein thing going on. That book is coming to me tomorrow, special delivery from a friend of mine, and I'm gonna get into that then. But there's 2 books that are not hugely celebrity books that are memoirs that I love and I want to recommend. One of them is a book called Uncultured by a woman called Daniela Mastignac Young. Now she is, you could just look up under Daniela Young. Daniela was born into the church. Was it the church? The Children of God. That's what it is. She was born into the Children of God cult. And the reason I found her was because she did a TED Talk. Every once in a while, I watch TED Talks, and she came up and did a TED Talk about her life and how she had to survive in the children, the Children of God cult. And that's the same cult that River Phoenix and Joaquin Phoenix were born into. That's that cult that they were, there's a few kids in Hollywood that were around that, and they came from that. Their family was in that. So she escapes that, I think at 14 or something, and she became an army. She ended up going into the military and became a captain, which is really cool. But what she found out was that pretty much the military is just a bunch of cult. Is where she came from. So it was like, her story is amazing. And so she's one of those people that she does have social media. With everything going on in the news right now, with the administration and all that, she has like a really good perspective on what makes people follow somebody that's not making sense, what cults are built on, and how what strengthens them and what makes them splinter and start to crumble, because the Children of God cult crumbled, and there were reasons for that. And then she's got a really special military perspective, because she was an army captain. I don't know if it was for 1 or 2 tours, but she was an army captain for I thought it was at least 10 years. So she knows kind of a lot about the inside of the military, what each branch of the military does, whether or not who they have to pay attention to, whose orders they have to follow, all that kind of stuff. So it's fun to kind of watch her riff off about stuff that she's seeing in the news and say, yeah, I know that's not true because of this, and this, because she was on the inside of that. But yeah, she's one of the people, if you can read her book, just her life has been amazing. And she's fairly feminist, but you can't blame her after everything she's been through. And she's one of those people that I love, that's just straight to the forehead. She's very blunt, very direct. She doesn't mix words. And those are the kind of people I love. So, and the other one I wanted to mention was a book called The Less People Know About Us. And it's by a woman called Axton Betts Hamilton, right? So Just if you remember just the title of it and look it up, it's basically about financial abuse. And I'm not sure how many people are aware of financial abuse. A lot of people go through it in marriages where somebody's just controlling the money in the marriage, and the other person really doesn't have almost any way to get anything done. They don't have any say in things. Sometimes they have to hand their money over, that kind of thing. But this book is important because this woman grew up with a family with a mother that was financially abusing the family, which is particularly whatever you want to call it. I relate to it in the sense that everybody in the family had to give over money. A lot of money was handed to this woman and she just squandered it. A lot of things weren't paid. When this woman died, I'll tell you one part of it is where she went. I moved out. I was like 18, 19, whatever. And I'm just a college kid. And I'm like, okay, I want to get my own apartment. And she goes to apply for an apartment or whatever it is, her first credit card or whatever it is. And a 10-inch thick credit report comes back. And she's like, how can this report be so big? I've never done anything in my life. And it turned out that her mother had just ruined her credit most of her life from the time she was very small. And that's something that happened. So, I mean, she ended up becoming a financial advisor. That's interesting to me. That her whole life now is to show how other people how not to get caught up in somebody taking advantage of you, taking your money from you. That's something that happens to a lot of people. A lot more people than you would think. So those are two that are not, they're not celebrities, but they're really strong women. And they, they survived some crazy stuff that most people just wouldn't imagine. It's part of this Gen X generation, although not saying that that's just Gen X. I'm sure that generations before that went through it. But I'm going to tell you, we as Generation X have just some outlandish childhood stories that you couldn't even imagine. I'm actually, at some point, I am writing my own book and my own memoir. So at some point, I will string it all together and make sense of it. But the stories are incredible. And so, I don't know. We're that feral generation. We were just like left outside. I mean, I know people that were just like left outside, literally had parents that don't know where they were, had no idea when they left, when they were coming back. Some of them, some kids didn't eat, had to figure out where to get food. Like it's crazy, but this is like how Gen X was, because we were the first generation of kids that were living with parents that had to both go to work.
Yep.
Like we were that first generation of parents that were just like, well, we have to go. We don't. Here's the key. Let yourself in. We were luckily we were all taught to cook really young, so a lot of us really did step into the kitchen at 5, 6, 7 years old and start making, basic but dinners to feed ourselves. You know what I mean? The frozen food was good, but it didn't really start happening until like the 90s, where there was a lot of frozen food to pick from. So we were making pot roasts, we were making mac and cheese, we were making that was the stuff hot dogs or whatever it was that we had to eat. We were feeding ourselves young. So these are two good books. What'd you say?
And doing dishes.
I mean, we were listen, a lot of I don't know about in my family or in my circle, a lot of the girls that were growing up Gen X, we were cleaning things, we were doing the housework, we were heading to the laundromat, we were cleaning everybody's clothes, and we were washing everybody's dishes. Like we were literal Cinderellas for a while.
Exactly. We do.
And my mom was, hey, I work, I come home, I pay the roof over your head. You see, I put that there. The rest of it is not my problem. When I come home, I want to eat, sit down. I don't want to worry about cleaning, anything like that. With the exception of like Saturday mornings, my mother would get into like a cleaning frenzy then. But whatever happened during the week, she would just want us to not create a mess while she was bringing money in. So it's good, right? It was good because we all had structure. So when we moved out, I think most Gen X kids, when they moved out, actually had less to do, if you think about it.
Yep.
Like we were like, oh, I just have to clean up after me now. Like it was a breeze because most of us were cleaning up for siblings and parents growing up. So Anyway, those two books, one of them is Uncultured and one of them is called The Less People Know About Us. Those are two very interesting books that I recommend as memoirs for two women who have lived extraordinary lives. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we're back to our vote. Get back to the
Yeah,
vote.
it works now. It works. So I voted.
Good. Good. Kenny tested that live on the air. I mean,
Yeah.
what kind of the production here is first rate. Where else are you going to show where they test stuff out right on the air
Yeah,
to make
right.
sure you can use it, right?
Exactly.
So, Kenny,
Yeah.
it's on you. Your next story.
It is on me.
I have Today in History for you, but it's could be
Is it Today
tied
History?
into this. Tell us all about it.
Ah. Oh. Okay. All right. Okay.
Okay.
Today, history, March 7th. In 1976, Alexander Graham Bell receives a patent for the telephone in the U.S.
Nice.
Yes.
Did you know that Newport was supposed to be his first phone call or something like that? Something involving Newport, Rhode Island.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. I'll have to look it up, but I thought there was a building in Newport, Rhode Island where like one of the first phone calls ever in like history came from or was called into or something like that. Ron, you should know that. That's something you would probably know since you're one town over or you are right in Newport. I forget. But yeah, one of our buildings in Newport is like part of that history. So that's kind of cool.
Nice. Oh. March 7th, 1917, first jazz record is released on a 78 by the original Dixieland Jazz Band for Victory Talking Machine Company. Dixie Jazz Band, One Step on one side, Livery Stable Blues on the other.
Nice.
That's Today in Music.
78 Speed Records, man.
Whew.
When I was growing up, we had 78. We didn't have 78 anymore, but most record players still had it because our relatives were using them. So we were always like, we could never. I know I could never find anything to play on 78, but that the setting was always there, you know. So it's kind of cool.
Yep.
I don't know if it's the one Jay Leno bought, but I just know that I'll send it to you. But one of the there was an issue with it. There was a telephone call, a successful telephone call that was sent to a Newport building. I can't remember who it was by. I thought it was Alexander Graham Bell, but I could be wrong. But I think it was.
Interesting.
Anyway, Adolf Hitler broke the Treaty of Versailles on this day. People breaking treaties. Well, how about that? That doesn't sound familiar. Anyway.
Not at all. Not at all.
You don't break treaties. We just don't break treaties. That's a no-no. What else you got, Kenny?
Hey, happy birthday, 70 to Bryan Cranston. He turned 70 today.
Bryan Cranston.
He's old, huh? And Wanda Sykes turned 62 today. She turned 62 today. So happy birthday to them also.
I love her. She's one of my favorites.
She's hilarious. She is hilarious.
Yep, she is. Oh my God. I don't even want to get into it, but she's funny. I just think of some of the movies that she's done cameos in, and she's just hilarious. And her stand-ups are great. So if you get a chance to see her, and if you can see her on Larry David show, Curb Your Enthusiasm, there's another place that Wanda Sykes made her mark. What a great! She's just too much. She's funny. Yeah. So we got Walter White. A friend of mine and I are like sending back and forth these weird conspiracy videos, right? And we're like, what is this nonsense? And we found a guy that swears that everybody in Hollywood that died has been reincarnated or has been made up or has been make-upped or surgeryed up to be a different person, but they came back as a different actor. And Bryan Cranston just happened to be one of those actors, so that's hilarious that it's his birthday today because they're saying that like the old that Phil Hartman isn't really gone and he's now Bryan Cranston, and I'm like, because he's matching the faces up. Look at this face.
Okay.
Look at this face. He's doing this, and
Okay.
some of my friends and I sometimes we just like send each other these videos, and we're like, "What in blue blazes, Kenny, is going on
Hey,
here? What is
hey,
this
I like that.
person?"
Yes.
And so they're doing the split screen of the face, and they're checking. Look, here's a birthmark here. Here's a freckle here, and they're trying to match it up, saying, "No, this person didn't really go. This person is now this person," and we're just like, "Okay, we can't with this." It's funny. It makes us laugh. I mean, we don't believe it, but we send it back and forth to each other like,
That's
"This is
hilarious.
this is the crazy stuff that's going on out there." So anyway, Bryan
Phil
Cranston
Hartman.
came up in this
As
conversation we had this week.
as Phil Hartman. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
and
crazy.
it just and it's like there's several different people that have passed that they're trying to say or somebody else. But anyway, um, I will not interrupt you anymore, Kenny. I'm so sorry. Was there anything else?
No, that's it. That's all for today in history.
Okay, well that's cool. Wanda Sykes, 62.
Mhm.
She the best.
She is.
So I just my story is just I wanted to bring up free reading. I know that in this day and age, I definitely I have friends that are authors and I have friends that deal in the publishing business. So let me start by saying I do not want anybody to take away from an author that has actually written a book and
Mhm.
wants you to buy that book. I'm not trying to get around that by any means. But if you you can buy you're not paying to read. Some people like to buy books. If you're a reader like myself and my friends, you could end up
Mhm.
with a lot of books in your house that you read maybe once or twice, and then they're in a pile, and you're like, okay. So this is just like, hey, I like to read a lot, but I don't necessarily want a whole lot of books piling up in my house. And that brings me to like free reading. There's like a bunch of places to go for free reading that you can, borrow a book. I don't know a lot of people know these things, so I just wanted to bring them up. In the digital world, if you have a library card, there are two apps that you can borrow books on. One of them is Libby. That's an app I use all the time. It's free.
Mhm.
It's just a free app. You add it to your phone, you give it your library card, and then you search your titles and it lends out the book. Like it's kind of like we've got 2 copies of that and we've got 4 people waiting and this will how long it'll take for you to get it. Do you want to, that kind of thing. They do audiobooks and they do regular books and it's like a Kindle. It'd be like the book coming up on your phone, right? So they do audiobooks and I believe Hoopla does too. I don't have Hoopla. I should probably add it because maybe they'll have different books than Libby does, but I use my local library card and you can that's a good way to read. Obviously, you can go to your library, but if you can't go sit in your library, that's a good way to use the card. There's also something called the Amazon First Reads program. So if you're belonging to Amazon, depending on whether or not right now you're supporting Amazon, there's a First Reads program there, so you can go look that up. And when I think it's like when a book is going to be published, there's like 5 per week or something, or per month. There's 5 authors that they just let people read for free if they're part of that program, even though they may or may not be artists that you know or whatever, but they're looking to get your opinion on those
Mhm.
books. So you get part of that program. You could get some good books way under the radar before anybody else gets a hand of them, and you might find some good authors that you had not heard of before, right? You can, if you belong to Kindle, probably people that have a Kindle know this. I do not, but I didn't realize this till today. There's a Kindle library that's fairly free that you can read from. I'm not sure what the titles are or anything like that, but there's always access to free reading on Kindle, so that's cool. It's just probably part of that subscription or that platform. There's something called Project Gutenberg, and it's
Gutenberg.
coming from the Google side, and it's like a Google Play app. I think though that you can download it if you have Apple, and it's the same kind of thing where you can read books for free. Although I did read some reviews on it, and people are saying it's like really, really app intensive. Really, really ad intensive. So when you go in, there's like a bunch of ads. I guess for whatever reason, it got really, I don't know what ARC Books is, but I would love it if you would tell me more about that. For Blue, who is Blue Fire 81? I don't know what ARC Books is, but I'm interested. With Gutenberg, I guess there's been a lot of advertising that's like happened, so it's kind of gotten very clickbaity. So that what you can do is just go in there and like be aware that you may get ads, things that click that will take it to places. You just have to kind of be a little bit more vigilant. Is that the word? There's an app called it's LibriVox, sorry, and it's called LibriVox. It's free and it's mostly audiobooks. I think you can get that under the. You can go to the library, but some people don't want to go to the library and get a book. Some people don't want to go to the library. An audiobook, you can't get that from the library. You have to get that digitally anyway. But you can go in and advanced readers copy. So that's the First Reads program. So that must be the same kind of thing. But the Internet Archive, if you have a chance to get to the Internet Archive, which by the way has the Wayback Machine, which is very cool. The Internet Archive has, I don't know if you know what that is. The Wayback Machine is like, I want to see what Google looked like in 1995, Google Maps, or I want to see what Reddit had on it in, 2 years ago or whatever. Something that you're trying to get to and like it's been removed or taken down or whatever, you go to the Wayback Machine, and if you type in your search the right way, it will pull up something from the past that maybe is gone now, but was up then. And I watch a lot of these guys that I'm a true crimer, so I watch a lot of these guys that like pull stories out of like Reddit threads and stuff like that. Some of them end up turning into news stories and things like that. And so once the news story breaks, the Reddit thread gets pulled down, typically for like licensing or legal reasons or whatever. But if you want to see what it was, you could go to the Wayback Machine and say, what does this page look like 3 years ago? And you can pull up the whole thread and get back some images and things like that have been taken down. So underneath Internet Archive is LibriVox is one of the things under that. And there's a few other things where you could just kind of read books for free. Whether they be PDF or whether you just there's also a cool, if you are a Minecraft gamer, I don't know if anybody here is, but if you are, they have a library called Uncensored, and it's literally a digital library of all banned books that they want to make sure somebody has access to. So that's kind of cool. So if you type in Google search Minecraft banned or uncensored library, it'll pull up that link. And I think that's pretty awesome that whatever, there's like a list of 100 banned books or something like that. They're providing digital copies of those books so that you can go read them somewhere. Because in this world, we have to be able to make sure we can get to what we want to get to. Nobody should tell us we can't read what we want to read, right? So that's kind of a cool little thing. I don't know if you have to be a Minecraft member to do that, or if you can get to it without a subscription or a membership, but it is something to go check out. And then if you're offline, there's all the old ways of doing things, like, obviously going to your local library and creating like a book swap. You go up on your neighbor app, or you go up on your next door app, or whatever it is that you use for your Facebook group or whatever your local, and you set up a book swap. Everybody shows up somewhere, coffee, refreshments, however you want to do it. They bring their books that they're done reading, and everybody puts their books in a pile, and they go through them and say, okay, I haven't read this. That's cool. And everybody can borrow books off or take books off anybody else that doesn't use them. So what's the matter? Are you okay?
Yeah, I was just thinking about something. I was just
so that's kind of a, that's something to do. Because if you have books in the house that you love and you've read, but you're like, what am I going to do? I read this. I don't really need it to be here. You take it to a local swap, and, let's say 20, 30 people do the same thing. You put the books all on a table, and everybody gets to take someone else's book that they haven't read. And maybe you get some really good, what you would call gems, some really good,
gems,
some valuable books that you were looking for that you maybe thought you were going to have to buy. So that's kind of cool. Also, there's like the little free, I don't know if you have them in your neighborhood, but I do. There's like little free libraries where people they create like little book cabinets, and they're outside. They're wood.
Yes. We have a ton of them.
Pay attention to those. If you have books you don't want, go to one of those, and then put your books in. And there may be books in there that you want. And either way, it's just kind of a cool little neighborhood thing that you can pay attention to when you're driving down the street. I know I've seen 3 or 4 of them in my neighborhood, and so those are cool, you know. And so there's just places. Those are just little places to get your reading. If you're just like, I love reading, but I don't want to pay $30 a month for Audible, or I don't want to pay, $50 for a hardcover book or whatever it is. I want to read it, but I don't necessarily want to own it. It's the same thing. So it's pretty cool. They have one on TV, The Neighborhood. I don't know what that is. But I'm quite sure I'll find out more about that later. But yeah, so I think as a person, reading is good for you. Who is Dave?
He's from
Oh, is that a show? Okay.
Yeah, that's a show.
I'm just realizing now. Okay.
Cedric the Entertainer.
Okay. I get it. So yeah, so it's something to kind of think about, like if you're looking for more reading material and that kind of thing. Even when you want to get like the New York Post or the New York Times, it's like $1 a week or something like that. It is $52 a year, which, to be honest with you, for the New Yorker or for the New York Times or for the Washington Post, I guess it's not terrible, because a lot of them are going out of print and a lot of stuff is online now. A lot of these newspapers, they're shutting their presses down. But so that's, I guess, not bad. If you're getting newspaper every day and you're reading a rich amount of information every day, I guess $52 a year isn't terrible. But some people, don't want to. Yeah, it is true. You save a lot of trees going online reading stuff, and you read what you want. I mean, a lot of times with those newspapers, remember those Sunday papers where they were like this?
Mm-hmm.
And you would get, it would be cool because there was so much in there, but like, I don't know, maybe 25% of that stuff you read. And the next thing you know, you were covering your book with it to go to school. So, we always want to be able to read, even if we can't afford it. There are people in places that can't afford to read, and they need to have access to reading. And so that's just these are some ideas for those people, right?
Right.
Where you can get what you need, or you can read what you want, and you'll still have your access. So
hey, bring back the Sunday paper. Huh? Come on, bring back the Sunday paper.
The Sunday paper exists, but they're not going to do that. They're not, and I don't think they should. I really think that was crazy.
It was this thick, and
yes, it was folded over, and it was
flyers
like this.
And coupons, and
it had. It had the funny section. That was one of my favorites. It had the lifestyle section. That was one of my favorites, and it had that weekly TV guide in it. Ours did.
Yeah, right.
Little TV guide in it. It was like a little booklet. So those are the 3 things I cared about, or whatever. Maybe a little bit of local news, but for the most part, as a kid, that's all. The rest of it was like not my thing. But it is cool to sit on a Sunday. Get a big tablet, or right now you can read the paper on like a TV. If you have a large screen, you can make that happen so that you could sit down with your coffee, flip through whatever the day's news is. I think the subscription is probably a lot. I don't know if it's cheaper or not. What did it used to cost to get like a weekly paper? You know what I mean? I don't remember how much it used to cost back in the day to like what you would give the paper boy, depending on what days of the week you would get. But it's probably a lot cheaper now. Is it? Yeah, but was it it's $2, but was it $2 for that one day, or was it $2 for the whole week? I can't remember. I didn't pay for this stuff, so I don't remember. And I didn't have a paper route, so I don't remember what the prices were. Did you pay for the whole week for $2, or did you? Oh, for Sunday. Okay. So just for Sunday, it was $2. So, maybe it was $1 a day. So maybe you paid $10 a week or something. Give the paper boy a tip, maybe, or something. But, so I guess it's kind of $2.75 for all week. Okay. So that's actually not bad. That's actually crazy when you think about $2.75 plus Sunday, or $2.75 for the week in addition to Sunday. That would make more sense. Anyway, my point is, I think it's a lot cheaper Just say I want the Washington Post, or I want the Providence Journal, or I want the Boston Globe, or whatever it is. And I think for paying $1 a week for something now is probably an amazing price, but they also have no choice because they can't. Yeah, they have to give it to you at that cheap, because think about, the news. If you like the news and you like to get your information, you're probably not going to need to get it from that paper. But their way of presenting the news to you is really what you're paying for. Like, I like this. I like the New York Times. I like the way they're structured. I like their editorials. I like whatever. I think what you're paying for really is more like their version of a daily news story. So, yeah, they were newspapers, one of the original subscriptions. I was listening to that song, that Steely Dan song, "Bring Back the Boston Rag," about the Boston Post, I think.
Yep.
There was a Boston Post in the 1800s, and that is a very good. If you're not a Steely Dan fan, I don't know what to tell you. They had some of the best stuff. So yeah, bring the Boston Rag is a good tune. So yeah, that's it. I mean, that's our Saturday. I'm done. I don't know about you.
Hey, I got one more.
Oh, good.
Hey,
nice.
Fantastic word. Okay, all right. So I want to know. Okay, we spoke about the 18 new words.
8 new words.
Yeah, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there was 15, but I chose 8. But
okay,
there's one word that Webster put in, and what took him so long? What took them so long? Now, the Oxford English Dictionary put this word in 2023. So
with
Webster's, Oxford English Dictionary in 2023.
Okay.
Put this word in 2023. But what took Webster so long to put this word in?
Well, my first question is going to be,
what's the
how
word?
did they? I don't know. I see. So I see a bottle of Fantastic. So my mind goes to, are they spelling it that way? Is that what? Is this the word we're talking about? Because you didn't really say it was.
Oh no, it's just one fantastic word that I know it's fantastic.
Ah.
But they took them 3 years to put this in.
Okay.
You want another word?
Yes. You gonna tell me?
Swifty. They finally put Swifty in the dictionary.
Okay.
And Swifty is recognized as an enthusiastic fan of singer Taylor Swift. Finally.
Man, Taylor Swift was gonna be born and dead, and none of us are gonna forget about it, are we? I gotta make sure we know all about it even after she's gone.
Exactly. Webster finally put it in there.
Okay.
Congratulations. What took him so long?
I don't know, but I personally don't agree with it, but it's okay. Are you a Swiftie? Is that why you like it?
Yes, I am. I am recognized now.
Okay, that's cool. I like to be a Swiftie. I actually like soon to be Taylor Kelsey. Oh, she's never. Are you kidding me? He will be taking her last name straight up. If you know anything about those two, he will be taking her last name, if anything. Probably not. Probably the both of them won't do that. But if anybody takes a last name, it will be it will be him. It'll be Travis. It will be Travis Swift. Absolutely. And he'd probably be fine with that. You can't be with Taylor Swift and not be a rabid feminist. And if she's not a rabid feminist, he wouldn't even be there right now. So I'm sure he's more than happy to give his name up.
Will there be a hyphen?
I don't personally. I don't. Just from what I know about the business, I don't think either one of them is gonna do anything. I think they keep their names the way they are. They don't need to. Like, there's no. The both of them have enough money. They don't need each other's money. They don't like. There's no. The both of them have a brand that they're trying to work with, so they're not gonna swap any names or anything like that. And you would have to be under a rock to not know the two of them are together. So there's no need for anybody to know that based on how you set the names up. Now, I don't know what their kids are going to have, if they have kids. I don't know. That's another story. But if you noticed, anybody from Hollywood or anybody from the music business or anything like that, you didn't see Tom Brady and Giselle. She didn't become. Did she become Giselle Brady? I don't remember that. I don't think so.
No.
Because she had to be her. I mean, technically, she could have bought and sold him how many times?
A lot of times. God.
But I mean, they both had their own businesses and brands, so they're not gonna do anything. I don't think so. Anyway, and Taylor Swift, I don't know if I ever told you the story, but I worked at country radio, and so when Taylor Swift was first doing the junket, the radio tours, where she would show up with her mom and
Yep.
2 other people, and they would put up 2 sticks. They put up 2, like in a mall somewhere or in a Dave and Buster's or whatever. They put up 2 sticks and 2 little speakers, 2 12s or 2 15s or whatever. And she'd sit in the middle and go through her library. We actually met her then. Now this would have been 2002, 2004, something like that. And she was just another kid doing the circuit. And there were a lot of kids like her that kind of came and went, and we did a little radio show, and it was a local little thing, and we put food out, and the record rep was there and told us all about Taylor Swift and who she was going to be someday. And then you watch these documentaries now and you're like, man, I did not see this coming. Wow, I did not. I did not see, because she was shy. I mean, she wasn't shy enough not to do what she did. She loved what she did. But she was very soft-spoken and she's very polite, and at that time, you never know. You just have no idea.
No idea.
And
she's going to be what?
Yeah, her mom going, did we see, arenas coming? No, because so, I like it. I thought she was talented then, but like I said, she was one of many kids that we did a little sponsored show for, and little, what is it called? A showcase, I think we called it. A little music showcase, we would call it. And so these artists that were coming up, they'd come to the radio station. The radio station set up a little thing on a Tuesday night, and we'd all go eat potato skins and watch this chick, a little girl or a guy sing. Be like, that's great. Get the EP, maybe play it on air, maybe discuss it with the record rep and the consultant, and then they would go on their way to their next thing. And so, yeah, we met her then. I don't remember where, if anybody's that I used to work with can remember where her show was, if it was outside, inside. We used to have them at little restaurants and stuff. All of our customers would introduce us to little spots. Like, we would have customers that had restaurants, and so we'd go to one of our clients and be like, hey, could you Debbie Gibson? So I'm not what can I say? As a DJ, I'm not in the business of pitting 2 people together and saying one's better than the other. I don't do that. So Debbie Gibson was Debbie Gibson. She had a whole different, that was a whole different thing.
Thank you. Disrespectful.
Right. I mean, Taylor was a country artist. She was primarily a country artist when she started. She became a pop artist. Oh boy.
They should create a Gibbies.
And by the way, she likes Deborah. She did not like Debbie anymore. I think Debbie was, as she got older, she got a little bit of an attitude about Debbie for a while there. I think now that she's back out on the circuit with New Kids on the Block and whoever she's out with, Tiffany or whoever, I think she's a little nicer about the Debbie thing. But for a little while, she had a Debbie issue where she did not like that. She was Deborah, and she wanted to be known as such. We had the same thing Mark Wahlberg went through, where he just did not like Marky Mark for a while, and he'd get mad if he said that to him. He just had a little bit of a, went through a little bit of a little emo-y thing about it, a little angsty. And that's, you're gonna be a Gibby? Okay. I think you should. Did you tag her? Did you tag Debbie Gibson? Maybe she can come in and talk to us about that. Yeah. She might be not doing anything right now. Pop in.
Hey, sure. Hey.
Okay, I'll call my people Gibbies. But when we were young, we didn't have fan names like that. We didn't do that in Gen X. That's a millennial Gen Z thing.
Exactly.
We were just people that went to a show. That was it.
Exactly.
So there you go.
Yep.
No, you did it wrong. So it has to be Debbie with an IE, I believe. Like if you're gonna
Yep.
get her attention, I think you have to spell it right. Or you could put Deborah, and she'd be like, "Oh, Deborah. Oh, I'm right here. I'm here. You called me by my proper name." But yeah, she was, you know. I'm trying to think about the first album that Debbie Gibson did. God, that was like 1988, and I used to play.
Ooh.
Out of My Dreams. Like I can't even tell you.
Hey, that's my
Yeah,
jam.
Out of My Dreams. I have like I have an extended version of everything, and so I had this club version of it. Yeah, that was the album. I think that song was released as well, but that was, I think, the name of the album. So, she had Out of My Dreams and Into the Blue. And she had Foolish Bee and some other. She had In Your Eyes. I think that was it for her. I think those are the four I remember. And then they released Electric Youth, and it was kind of okay, but it didn't go too far. No. But yeah, Gen X. Gen X.
Gen X. Fun fact: Mrs. Taylor Swift will have 1,000,000 flowers at her wedding. 1,000,000 flowers.
Do you know where it's probably going to end up happening? And do you know what we're going to have to shut Rhode Island down? I think it's going to have to be here. And then, so we're all just going to have to get to quit work for a day and forget trying to get anywhere on the highways because it's going to be not. And you're probably going to be affected too because you're not too far from there. And so you're also going to have like, Connecticut congestion, especially from people coming up from New York and stuff.
Yep.
I don't know. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure she's probably going to do it in Westerly.
Yeah.
And we're all just going to have to. So the glitterati will be in Westerly. Because if she has that wedding in Westerly, then Hollywood will end up in Westerly, Rhode Island, which is kind of odd, but that's what's going to happen. Yep. So the universe will flip for a day. And some very important people will be like traversing through southern Rhode Island. I think they'll all fly into the Westerly Airport, but I'm telling you, if people start driving up here, they're gonna come through New York and they're gonna make your life a living hell all the way through Connecticut. So, is it next door? Okay, so it's gonna be next door. So there we go. Look at that. She didn't even have to go that far. Nope. You're famous when you get married. You don't have to do anything but step out of your door and walk next door.
Exactly. You're famous when they have a tax bracket after you, the Taylor Swift tax.
Yeah.
The Taylor Swift tax.
I think I don't know, a million flowers. I'm not a fan of flowers actually. They die, and I think cutting them. I'm not saying I don't like them. I'm saying I'm not a fan of flowers as like a gift or a decoration.
I hear you.
Like I think you should leave them where they are and not cut them and kill them. Show them to me, and then we'll move on.
Let them grow.
Like if you could bring me to a place that has flowers, and we could walk around and look at the flowers. That's much more of a gift to me than like a bouquet of flowers. It's just like a bunch of little corpses, with paper wrapped around them, and you're like, oh, they're all gonna die. Okay, thank you. I hate it. No, that's not nice. Yeah. So Jay Leno, Taylor Swift, they're not the only ones that have. Isn't Richard Jenkins still living in Rhode Island? Although he's very, very low key. But I think he's living on the east side. So I think he's living in Rhode Island. I don't know if Viola lives here. I don't know if I know she's from here, but I don't think she has a house here that I know of. I know some people have summer homes in Newport and that kind of thing. And Newport's so nice in the summer, but so annoying trying to get around. It's like park your car at the edge of Newport and just walk, because you're just better off. I have a gig in Newport. Sometimes I do, and I'm like, I better have like access to the door. Like I better be able to get there and park my car right in front of the door, or I'm not coming. Because like Newport is so crazy and congested, and it takes 20 minutes just to get down back streets and stuff in Newport in the summer, because it's just constant crowds of people walking around in stores and restaurants and stuff. Lego flowers last forever until your cats get to them. That's true, but I don't know what can your cats do. If their flowers are all built up, what can they do? Chew on them? I mean, I know they can push them off counters, but I don't know. Maybe not have the Legos on the counters. Cats will swipe anything off a counter.
Exactly.
So
they sure will. That's their hobby.
That's their hobby. That's their thing.
Yep.
F this thing. Bam.
Bam.
F that thing too. Bam. F that thing. Bam.
Bam.
Those videos are great. If you ever get a chance to watch a bunch of cat videos of them just shoving things off counters, it's great.
Yes.
So we are wrapping up for today, and are we on time?
Yeah, we are on time.
Wow.
It's amazing.
I don't think this is this like never happened before? No, that's not true. So tomorrow morning, Kenny's back with Ron. And as usual, Ron will have a top 5, and Kenny will be just completely disgusted by this top 5.
Yep, just like last week.
So at least you can count on it, right? At least you can count on Kenny being just like, I think he's it's women in history. So if we're gonna have are we gonna have another? Like, what was it? Whitney Houston? Who was it?
Oh yeah.
Are we gonna have another like one of those days where
I hope
somebody that's supposed to be in the top 5 and it is a very, very important figure is just not put in there, and Kenny is just not happy with that situation? We shall see.
He's like 1 for 58.
Oh god, he had like one show that he did top 5 you liked out of 58 shows.
Yep.
That's a terrible track record, Ron. Absolutely terrible.
Absolutely terrible.
Wow. Well, we shall see what happens tomorrow. I know I'll be tuning in to see. I'll be checking it out to be like, oh god, is Kenny mad again? Is he disgusted again? Our week is as usual. We do have it's women in history. Am I saying that right? Next week?
Yep.
Women in history. That'll be cool. I don't think that's going to be one of those weeks where we're going to have no idea how to narrow it down, because there's, in my opinion, way too many.
Way
too many. And so, yeah. Well, everybody have a good Saturday. Join us next week. Kenny, where can we find you?
Right here, Rhode Island Broadcasting.
Kenny is a resident of Rhode Island Broadcasting, and you can find him sitting right there. You can find me at Lana DJ Williams at IG, Lana DJ Lana Williams at Facebook, and then Lana Lee Williams 8668 on YouTube. Those are the 3 I have right now, and I keep saying I am working with somebody to try to put a podcast together, and we are getting it done. It will be finally. We don't want to do it and then have to redo it, so that's why it's taken so long. We didn't want to do it right the first time and not have to go back to the drawing board. So tomorrow, tune in at 10 o'clock in the morning. You will see Kenny and Ron, and in the meantime, have a lovely Saturday, because we have it going on daily. Bye bye.